Hey there, guys! So, I was asked by Aerosology, at least that's how I'm going to pronounce it, on Instagram to make a sapphire dress tutorial. So, this tutorial is kind of in depth, and the first thing you can do is I'll put a link in the description box below on how to make the hoop skirt I made. So, the hoop skirt I made, I kind of edited what it says on the website. On the website it says to use 1/4 of an inch. I couldn't find 1/4 of an inch of PEX pipe, like how, I guess diameter wise. I couldn't find 1/4 inch, so I have 1/2 inch, which isn't very good because it screws everything up, and basically the front of my hoop skirt is flat. It's like flat circle. It doesn't look very hoopy, basically. So other than that, the rest of the dress is pretty simple, and one of the things you can get is a pattern that I will also put a link into the description on where I got on Amazon because it's way cheaper. Like if you go to like a fabric store and buy it, it'll be like $15, but on Amazon I got it for like $3 to $5. I don't quite remember, but it's really, you just need the pattern for the bodice, and that's about it. The skirt is basically just 4 large panels, but I'll go into depth on how to do the stripe in the front and all that stuff in the next segment that I'm going to record via my phone. So, ignoring everything else in my closet, the first thing you have to do is make the bodice, which is obviously right there. Sorry about my weird finger. But after you do that, basically what you do is you make this beautiful thing right here. Basically, to make that is you need a long strip of fabric. I'll put the exact measurements in the description box below because I'm not taking them right now, sorry. But I'm going to show you how to sew this so it ends up like this at the bottom. If you want to be a try-hard, I guess, and make it shorter here, I did not do that because I'm lazy, I guess. But I'm going to show you how to make that. And I'll also show how to make this skirt, I guess. The skirt is very basic, seeing it as it only is 4 large panels. So ignoring everything in the background, this is basically what you start with your fabric. Obviously this is black and not blue. I was just using some spare fabric I had. So essentially what you do is you measure how long the top of the bodice is, like the neckline, I guess, the bottom of the neckline where the decorations, I guess, are attached, is you measure that, and then basically I'm going to do a very crude just marking this with my hand while I hold my phone in the other hand. Yeah. So basically you mark it up like that. Look at that. Wowie kazowie. And then you measure how long from the neckline to the bodice it is, adding like an inch, I guess, to make sure you can sew it inside the top of it. And then basically you mark that here, I guess, here-ish. Yeah, those are really bad markings, I'm sorry. And then you cut the fabric. You basically cut this off right here and right here. I'm gonna skip to that right now. So while ignoring how badly these lines are cut, you also have to make notches in the fabric here and here. So you can fold this over about 1/4 of an inch and sew it just so the ends aren't gonna fray or anything like that. So after that, you take your fabric here and basically you fold it over. If it was longer, which it would be longer. But you take it over like that, and when you bring it back over here, you have to turn the fabric. I know, I'm sorry it's black. I'm very sorry about that. You take it and you turn it slightly. Kind of see how like it's on an angle there. Trying to show off that a little bit, I guess. It's kind of angled, so basically the fabric will go on an angle out like that. And you pin it just so there's enough. And make sure when you sew it on, here I'm going to flip over to the dress. When you sew it, you can kind of see, sorry that was weird, right there, how like about an inch above between the skirt and the bodice there is some fabric there. You want to make sure you get that, and also the stitching on the sides, the 1/4 of an inch. Sorry about the weird cutoff right there, my phone literally ran out of space. So as I was saying, 1/4 inch, fold in, sew. You can sew it closed, I guess, and onto the dress at the same time, otherwise you'll have 2 stitches, and as you can see, I do not have that here. Also, as that got cut off, 1/2 inch up, like an inch, or 1/2 inch up here, like an inch and a half, like not 1.5 inches, but you know what I was saying. at the top so you can sew it on there. So this gets sewn also, didn't mention that. This you fold in 1/2 inch once and then 1/2 inch again, so you have 1/4 inch extra on each side. So you just fold that in and such. So, back to the other stuff I was saying with. So, basically to make the skirt, I'm gonna lift this up really quick. The skirt, I did not follow the pattern skirt because the thing with the hoop skirt is, however basically, the circumference of the last hoop, however long you made it, plus the amount of the threaded rod, is how big your skirt has to be. So, as you can see, this is very crudely done. You can do this either by basting it and doing a, like, basting stitch, I think it's called, and doing, like, basically a regular gathering, or you can do what I did and fold it over a bunch of times, and do that. Luckily for me, I had a mannequin, basically like a dress form, not really a mannequin, but a dress form, to do this, to basically do this thing on the bottom. So what I meant to say there was basically to hem it on the bottom. I had a dress form to help me with this, but if your hoop skirt ends up being perfectly round, unlike mine, you won't have a problem with this. You just do it all one length and no problem. But with mine, it had to be all different lengths around it. Like if you see here, the back, it's kind of dark in here. The back is longer than the front because my hoop skirt is weird. But basically, I cut my panels for this very long. So essentially what you have to do is you have to get panels of fabric, and what I did was I got however long I needed it to be, like measure from the top of your hoop skirt to the bottom of it, essentially like from the waistband of it to the bottom of it, like on here, and measure how long that is, and that's how long your panels need to be. Essentially make them like an extra inch or two longer. I made mine like an extra 5 inches, which is really unnecessary, but if you want to do it, go right ahead, be my guest. But basically you make 4 large panels or however long you need it, depending on the width of your fabric, and sew them all together, and then do this to it, and then stitch it right on, and then hem the bottom. That's essentially what you need to do. I don't really have any like pro tips. The zipper can be kind of difficult, but if you look up, I don't know whether anyone knows how to do a zipper on, like, if you don't know how to do a zipper, most of them come with directions. So, that's about it for this video. Sorry if it was really, really short, but if you're confused still or have questions, just leave a comment of your question and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.